Okay, so there is a lot to unpack with what has transpired over the last 24 hours or so. We all know that today, if you're watching this on February 8th, 2023, there is a brand new Nintendo Direct at 2 p.m. PT/5 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be streaming that Nintendo Direct right here. We will be going live about 2 hours early, so make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell and get ready for our stream because it's going to be a lot of fun. But there is a number of things that we have to go over. Now, why this Nintendo Direct could be a bit crazier than usual, and they're usually pretty wild. The big man himself, at least the new big man at Nintendo of America, has actually kind of hyped things up a little bit. Now, a number of hours ago, Doug Bowser, the president at Nintendo of America, had this to say, quote tweeting the response of Nintendo America's official Twitter account, talking about the Nintendo Direct and the time and everything, saying, "Dust off your Nintendo Direct bingo cards. Here we go." Now, I know that he usually talks about stuff here, but the fact that he's saying bingo cards lets you know a few different things here. If it was just the typical Nintendo Direct, or maybe it was just like the Mario or Zelda and that was that, then I'm not sure if he would say something like that. Now, once again, it's his job, obviously, Nintendo Direct. It's his job to make sure that the marketing is on point and they're selling hype, they're selling consoles, they're selling games. Like, I get that, but to say dust off the bingo cards, that's how you know there's going to be some crazy things or potentially some stuff that you would not expect. And what I'm expecting, if you haven't seen my predictions video, I'll have a link for it in the description below. Check that predictions video out. We could get some type of classic remaster revival that is on the bingo card, because the bingo card is a lot of different stuff and you don't know. It's not a cookie cutter type of thing here. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. And for those who don't know how to play bingo, you need 5 different letters all in like a row or a diagonal to get the bingo. So there could be multiple different things here all stacking up to hit that Nintendo Direct bingo. So maybe this is true, maybe it's not, but what I do know that there's definitely going to be some interesting games being announced at the Nintendo Direct. And I hope you guys can share that experience with me right here on PlayerEssence as we stream it a bit early. We will be going live about a couple hours early from wherever you are, wherever it starts in the world, wherever you're at. I'll be going live a few hours early or so to get ready and get hyped. And of course, get your predictions, which you can put in the comment section below as well. Now, the next order of business here is $70 games potentially from Nintendo. And there's a lot to kind of get into with this, because late last night, Nintendo put up a listing for the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom on the eShop that said $69.99 and was immediately removed after that. Now, that led to a chain of domino effects of other different places having listings for a certain price and then removing them, then having listings and then removing them. So it was interesting to see. And then you couldn't pre-order, then it was temporarily out of stock. It kind of went all over the place. So many people who cover games, so there was people like Wario64 feels, and other people as well, feel that because that the listings went down, that $69.99 is probably going to be the standard price. Since they went down, you can't pre-order it. If you were able to have that price, why would they take it down, right? So maybe some people will get the honor of having that $60 price tag, or $59.99, and Nintendo's going to reveal today that it is going to be $70 for games, which is a big shift, especially for Switch games, because Switch games aren't as technologically advanced as the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. But it seems like this is potentially just for the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Though when it comes to the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, that is Nintendo's biggest product when it comes down to it. And I think that people are going to be willing to pay that for the Legend of Zelda. I don't think that's going to be the case for other titles like Pikmin or WarioWare or games like that. Nintendo can't get away for $70 with those games, or at least people aren't going to buy them. Legend of Zelda, people are more willing to do that because it's their like best game, but I don't see it for everything going forward, especially for like remasters and stuff like that. I mean, they already kind of push it with the $60 for those, so I don't see them doing that for every single game out there. But Legend of Zelda, I think, is one of those games that it's definitely possible. Now, another thing that we're going to talk about in just a bit, what we could see, Metroid Prime 4, apparently that got a listing as well. It went up for pre-order and it was $60, then it was taken down. So there is definitely some stuff going on here with the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and it potentially being that price, and also Metroid Prime 4. So let me get into this $70 potentially thing, hypothetical, whatever the case is, right? Like, I'm gonna buy the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom at pretty much any price. I mean, it'd have to be like $1,000 for me not to buy it, you know? So I'm gonna buy it no matter the price. And I kind of said the same thing with the PS5. I said that I was kind of done buying the $70 games, but I tried it out for Ratchet and Clank and I tried it out for Returnal, and I decided that, nah, I'm not gonna buy games that I'm not really too like 100% hardcore interested in for 70. But Zelda is one of those games, if it does, I'm not saying that it's 100% just yet, it might be, but if it does, I'm going to buy that for 70 because it's The Legend of Zelda. It's a quality game. I don't care that it's not in 10K or resolution or 75 frames per second or whatever. The game is why it's worth that much, because I am looking forward to that 300-hour playthrough or whatever. Not necessarily because I'm counting pixels or digital foundering the game to determine its worth. I don't do that. I go based off of the quality of the game and what I like. So I would personally, you know, buy the game at that. For example, like God of War Ragnarok. Yeah, that's absolutely worth 70 for so many people out there. And I agree when it comes down to at least the PS5 version or whatever, right? I do feel that when it comes to these $70 games and all that, like, you can buy it right now if you want to, or you can not. That's kind of been my stance pretty much since the whole $70 discussion, you know, started taking place. Like, if you want to buy it for that, you do it. If not, then you wait for a price drop, or you don't buy it at all, or you buy something else. And it's always going to be a big line of debate. I know there was a lot of people on both sides talking about this on Twitter and on other places, very angry or fine with the price tag, or just, hey, buy whatever you want. And I'm kind of in that boat. Like, I think people should just buy whatever they want. Obviously, I would want it to not go up to 70. If it can stay at 60, that would be great. Obviously, better for the consumers if it's 60, so I hope it stays right there. But there's always been that looming discussion of, yeah, when are they going to go up to 70? Because a lot of the industry has already went up to 70. Microsoft and Sony has went up, and obviously development costs are rising. Nintendo is going to be doing something more advanced next gen, so eventually they're going to get there. But I didn't know it was going to be with the Nintendo Switch, at least. But we're going to have to wait and see. Maybe it's just this game. I talked about this with Spawnwave on Twitter because the listing was put up and then it was pulled, and then now it's kind of all over the place. It's uncertain as of the time that I'm recording this video. And I thought maybe, hey, maybe there's a special edition that's, you know, $70, or maybe they're trying to figure out exactly what editions are going to be out. $60 edition, $70 edition, maybe $90 edition, or Switch OLED, right? There's going to be all sorts of stuff potentially with this, right? The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild had a bunch of different editions. Like, it had various different editions for varying prices. So that could be the same thing here. But once again, it's an eShop listing, so I'm not so sure about that. But it'll be interesting. But I'll be honest, I'm going to buy it at that. And I'm obviously not going to buy stuff like, I don't know, like Pikmin 4. I'm not going to buy that if that's 70. Or certain games. Now, I'm good on all that. But for the biggest games, like a brand new 3D Mario game or something like that, yeah, I'll buy all the biggest games for that price. Just like I thought I was going to really like Ratchet and Clank for 70 or whatever, right? Or Returnal, even though I do love Returnal. But I could have waited and got those for cheaper, right? I did that with Horizon Forbidden West. Yeah, not Zero Dawn. Horizon Forbidden West. I did it with that game, and I got that game for much cheaper. So it just depends on the game for me. It just really depends on the game when it comes down to it. But yeah, going to be a very crazy day if it does turn out to be that, because people were up in arms. People were complaining and angry when it comes to the price of games and all of that. And I remember even when Microsoft raised the price, I was like, hey, look, you know, if you want to buy it at that price, you buy it. If you don't, you don't, you know, so it is what it is there. But let's get into the next thing when it comes down to this, because I want to talk a little bit about Metroid Prime 4. So it appears that maybe there will be a Metroid Prime sighting, whether that's Metroid Prime 4, Metroid Prime, whatever the case is, there's going to be something. Because once again, like I alluded to before, the listing went up. It was up on Amazon. You can kind of pre-order it. They're not saying that it's coming up at the end of the year. There was a placeholder. It's all over the place. You know, I've seen other people make videos on it already. And I do think that, yes, finally we do get a Metroid Prime 4 trailer and we get a release window. I think that at this point, the game has been rebooted, right? We're not even talking about the original announcement back in 2017. The game was scrapped, rebooted, started up again from like 2019, right? Early 2019. So it's been 3 plus 4 years now at this point. 4 years. So it's been so long since they talked about it. And people have talked to my stream like, oh, maybe it's a teaser or maybe it's this or that. And I'm saying, no teasers. No teasers, no anything like that. No JPEGs. We need a solid trailer to see what this game is about. Now, it doesn't need to be, oh my gosh, 5 million hours of gameplay or anything like that. But it would be nice if we actually got a solid trailer for this game with some details and with a release window. I think that if we can just see the game, because look how long it's taken. It's taken the whole generation for one Metroid Prime game. When back in the day, man, we got 2 on the GameCube. We got 2 Metroid Prime games on the GameCube, right? Now, obviously, it's great that we got Metroid Dread, for example, right? That's been phenomenal, and I love Metroid Dread, and I'll always kind of like 2D Metroid more than 3D Metroid, which is like whatever, right? Doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Like, there's different games for different people or whatever it is, and I want to see Prime. Like, back when Prime came out on the GameCube, that was the system seller to me, at least. I loved me some Prime. And I do still like the game. I just kind of soured on things a bit. And then Metroid Prime 3 was really good. That's like my favorite one, I think, Metroid Prime 3. And then after that, it was just man, there was all sorts of Metroid Prime stuff that didn't go according to plan, like Metroid Prime Federation Force. But I did like Prime Pinball, but that's beside the point. The point is that it would be good to see Metroid Prime come back, exactly what this game looks like, plays like, the goal, like, are they doing the old school backtracking? Are they going to do something new with that? Are they going to have multiple planets? Like, what's it going to look like graphically? Is it going to be the most impressive looking Switch game out there? I mean, there's a lot to talk about here because they've got a lot of talent on that team. You got guys that worked at Naughty Dog and guys that worked at different AAA studios. So I feel that Metroid Prime 4 is probably one of the most intriguing games and one of the most interesting games that will release on the Nintendo Switch to see exactly how this major Western studio handles a Japanese IP, how they do it this time. Now, we've seen it before with Metroid Prime, but how do they do it this time? But overall, what do you guys think about this? What are some of your predictions for the Nintendo Direct? If you have not seen my predictions, I'll have a link for it in the description. You guys can watch more of what I thought, which I felt that my predictions were pretty good. So if you haven't seen that, make sure you check it out. Link in the description, and we will see you guys right here on PlayerEssence. Once again, the Nintendo Direct starts at 2 p.m. PST today, 5 p.m. Eastern time, and I will be streaming the show. I will be live streaming the show. We'll be going live a couple hours early to get everything ready to go. And of course, the replay will be available for all of you guys. So if you missed that, the replay will be available on the main homepage. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to a lot of different stuff. And we will see you guys for the next one. Peace out, y'all.